Was commentary always something you had an idea that it could be in your path even while you were driving, or was it very much let's find a way to get back into racing after your career sadly obviously ended with that injury?
If I'm brutally honest, I was really petulant when I couldn't drive anymore, and it was very much sort of like a relationship split when you're still sort of madly in love with the person that's sort of drifting away from you. And I was, so disappointed and sort of heartbroken that I couldn't continue. I sort of needed some time away from the sport, and commentary wasn't something that I'd thought a great deal about. I was doing one or two things with Getty Images in and around sport, but not motorsport, and living with a friend who I went to school with, believe it or not, Shemi Alcott, who does some work in broadcasting, a skier. You'll see her on BBC Ski Sunday and that kind of stuff. And she sort of was doing some work for Eurosport, and she said, well, come down and meet the people and see what opportunities are there. And I did that and never looked back. So that's how I fell into commentary. And I think my first race was a Formula Renault race, actually, 2-litre race, Euro Cup race. And I really enjoyed it. And I never looked back. It gives you a fantastic adrenaline rush, very much like competing. And live TV's chaotic. It's very much being comfortable with the uncomfortable and the unknown. And
sure, yeah.
Again, a real correlation to competing. And commentary gives you an opportunity to shape the narrative as well. So you bring the race alive and give it a heartbeat and try and make it as entertaining as possible for those listening.
And your time as a driver, that experience, that kind of technical fluency you have with the car, I guess mechanical sympathy is a way a lot of people frame that. Was that something you felt from the start was a real benefit to your commentary in telling that narrative and being able to describe the sensation of understeer through the wheel, or, that feeling in your kind of butt cheeks and your shoulder blades of the weight of the car moving around? Was that a big part of the kind of value you were able to deliver in commentary?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, you need to be able to see what other people can't see. And that's the benefit of experience, certainly as the pundit. You've then got to be able to communicate that. Nobody helps you in terms of how you communicate, how you commentate, how you're meant to be on TV. So it's very much sink or swim. And I'm learning still. I'm not a journalist or a natural communicator, but I get better and better, I hope. And your ability then to put into words what is happening is important. And then I made the transition to leading coverage. So that just makes me more versatile. I can be a colour or I can be a lead commentator. And I actually find myself leading more and more nowadays. And I really enjoy that, because you have an idea of what it is you want to get out of the pundit who's sitting next to you. So you've got a natural fluency around the terminology and the understanding, and you can get the information out of the expert that sat alongside you.
So does that feel like a formula that the kind of broadcasters have, in that you have that lead commentator, and then normally the lead commentator is paired with an ex-driver, but you were kind of meshing those two traditional boundaries there? Is that something that's just set up by the industry? I think it could be interesting for people to understand what the production side of race commentary is like. So is that just kind of a traditional division between lead and colour commentary that's existed for a long time?
Yeah, I think it's down to the individual. You've got to have the appetite to do it. So a high-profile example is Gary Lineker, for example, who's made it from the transition from a pundit to the lead. The lead role's very, very different. You're topping and tailing the programme. You've got to be across your associate producers, the director. You've got all the talk back, the fresh restarts, the cue points, the ins and outs to graphics, that kind of thing. So there's a lot going on, and then you've got to listen to whoever it is alongside you, what they're saying, wrestle questions back into commercial breaks, that kind of thing. So it's quite a chaotic environment, and you've got to have the appetite to want to do it and also be capable in that role. There's a lot to learn, and you don't really have a facility to learn that. It's very much off the 10-meter board and hope you swim.
Absolutely.
Which is quite brutal at times, especially in the modern world with Twitter and all kinds of social media platforms where people are the first to make you aware of any mistakes you might have made.